Good morning. Just have to bear with me for 1 minute. I do have a splinter. I do have to move the camera in a minute. I don't see jack shit. Got it though. So, alright. No, still in the. Alright, sorry. Splinter. This might work. I rearranged the room again yesterday, like just a little bit. Not a lot. I moved the bird cage out of the window for the winter. And like, yeah, a little bit more over here, but so that is going to drive me bananas a little bit, guys. But we're going to deal. We're going to deal because we're going to deal. That's fine. And I didn't even feed peanut butter yet, so I'm going to have to do that in a minute too. Well, a few minutes. But I gotta move my chair over. Is now the problem, because I forgot to have Mia move the cats to this side of the room. And it's going to be a little bit of an issue for me. So I'll leave it be for now. But unfortunately, good morning. I'm going to have to work like this side of the table. Sorry, my chair is not ready to go from this angle yet, but this should work. Oh, I really don't like that. The second time I tried it. I'm gonna grab my water, my phone, and ready to go. Hi, Glida. Are you hungry? Num num. I'll just feed you now. One last thing. Oh, you left one in there from last night. Shocking. I know. No, I can't have it. No. In there. I dropped it. Alright. So sorry. But I kind of needed my screen to see where my camera was going because, I had to move it. So, can't sleep. Oh, that sucks too. It's like, yeah, that sucks. It was just the day before. Oh, I hope she gets better. I woke up at 3:53. I don't know if I was telling you or members yesterday. Hi, Buddha. Hold on. I was actually just looking for it, and it's lost, which is strange. So it's 3:53 because I think that's what I looked up last. And then, Saturday was 4:56. That's not bad, right? Could be worse. The 3:53 is gone, but I remember looking that up. And then today, so I think you should really pay attention to the numbers because I also feel like I'm kind of getting woken up. And then today was 3:52, and yesterday was, what's the fuck up with that glare? Almost like it doesn't want to show you. When it just showed the other one clear as day. That's kind of strange, don't you think? So, and then let me go back into Angel's number and see if it's 3:53. No, it always comes back up 222. So, something with something relevant with numbers. Mia, I told her I was going to bed. She texted me like 3 times. It's still in the sky. It's still in the sky. I'm like, that's because it's a satellite. No, it's blinking. I'm like, oh my goodness. So, there's that. And I wanted to start with this deck, and I think I was going to do it by planets. But I wanted to use the other deck that I didn't get to use the other day. Because it was talking to me in members. Choose me, choose me. So, we'll do one of those. Everything still happened, but we actually kind of going through the same thing. Health issues, knee surgery, kids, septic tanks. Yeah. 3. I've been seeing 11 too. Like I did see 3 here and there. But I know the numbers are talking. Yeah, and I was saying that the other day to members too. A lot of people were saying, kind of going through like the same thing with just chaos, and me and Charlie ended up being fine. I mean, he actually owned it. He was like, I'm sorry. It was inconsiderate and selfish. Like, all right, not used to somebody apologizing. Not used to somebody like, yep, that's what I was doing. But he didn't, you know what I mean? But I was kind of like laughing. I'm like, no, we can't do that. Like, I think it's just so natural for the Matrix for people to just do it to test where the other person's at when they start feeling something, maybe. Like, people don't even second guess it in a way, unless it's intent. Like, he was still intentionally seeing where I was at, but not in a manipulative way. And then there's a big difference between a manipulative way as well, you know? It's all manipulative, but I kind of feel like it was innocent. See, I don't think that makes sense. Wasn't I saying something like that the other day? Like, that doesn't, like a gentle, like, fucking around, so, yeah. So I don't think it was really intentional. It's not something, I mean, we're already over it, but he's probably the first man in my life in a long time to honestly mean it and actually say it and own it. So I was like, okay. He wanted to try again. That's why he's like, no. So like he actually wanted to try, he fucked up. It's like, we're too old. I'm not playing games. I won't play games with you like that. Please don't do it with me. There's no time for that shit. So that's situated. Wow, yeah. It's a long time. Certain stuff will definitely come around, certain closings, openings. October's gonna be a chaotic month regardless for everybody. There's no escaping it. Especially for people who have been escaping. You don't get an out this time. All right. And here we go again with the shaking of the table. Everlasting love. I think like everything is like really eye-opening. It's kind of like what I'm getting for people, or will be, because I'm at the point where my conscious, I feel, is clear enough where I'm not questioning myself, but I am questioning the feeling, and not in like a push away way, guys. Is it, do I really like him? Does he really make me feel this way? Or is it because I've lacked like that type of touch and interaction in a long time? So and I just say you can't underestimate the power of love. Is that in that song? But I question shit like that. Like, that's how clear my brain is when it comes to a relationship, no relationship. I mean, like I said, I blocked him after 30 years. He fucked up once, and that was all. That's all it took for me. So I was like, all right, maybe I was being a little rash, but, and I don't usually do that with other people. Yeah, I'm not typically avoidant, but yeah, I have my flaws too with certain stuff. But ooh, sorry, I just have to open Sheldon and Moses' thing real quick. So I think that's a little confusing. Not that it's confusing, it's just, well, maybe confusing is the right word, Is it love that I'm feeling? Okay, so you keep hearing all these songs. So I don't know if you guys are in this questionable state of, some people that have been together for a long time, and then you got to consider it's always hard to do breakups because there's, you can tell yourself you love each other until you're blue in the fucking face, but you still want to be with somebody else, Good morning. So clearly this reading is going to be like a love reading, but like in a way of like questioning. Like when I said the other day, like find your love story, make your love story yours. Like it can be self-love. It doesn't have to be another person, right? So I really would like that to stop shaking. and then me questioning the way I'm questioning something, but I'm not stuck on questioning that. But I do know for a fact when you've been with somebody for a really long time and you know somebody, there's always guilt going in a new direction. There's always like, did I make the right decision? Doubt. I know I really do love them, and it's okay to love them and not be with them. People think, oh, got a lot of love still, we'll figure out a way. No, that doesn't mean love. That's not unconditional love. Because if it was unconditional love to an extent, you wouldn't even be in that situation. So, yeah. Damn, why is it still lingering? It never goes for that long. It's actually annoying. Oh, look, I picked up the cards that I've been talking about for weeks now. So, we are in a new chapter. The entire fucking universe. New is going to happen whether you like it or not. And other people's rise is going to be other people's downfalls. Like, it's just the way it's going to go. Like, I almost had an even match, like a tennis match. I don't know what score you go to or really how that works. So, happy or sad. So again, it's kind of like our own consequences of stuff we dealt with. And maybe because I've been single for so long and I know like getting that physical comfort from somebody is comforting, and it's sometimes it's temporary. I'd feed myself and get that comfort, and other times it's just like, oh, I actually, miss cuddling. I do this and that, but like, do I though? It's stuff like that. It's a different type of clarity for me. So I'm assuming a lot of people are going to start feeling all sorts of ways and deciphering it that way compared to how we used to decipher things. And I came across an interesting video yesterday. I say it for you guys. Had nothing to do with love. And I think I've heard it explained this way a certain time, but the way he explains it was definitely different.
I'm not sure how much anybody understands about the moon, or if they know that it's an unnatural satellite, that it's not a moon like in the same way other planets have moons. It was placed there, and it is a soul harvesting unit. It's used to at the point of death. So they say, walk to the light. If I was you, I would take the other direction. But so then when you go there is high.
Not to mention that's the second time I've heard that from somebody.
The advanced technology there, which then harvests the energy from the soul and the trauma and the sadness of the death of a loved one. It then takes that, wipes the memory from the person, and then at the point that it's necessary, recycles the body or the soul back into another body on Earth again. So it's a continual loop. That's what the Ouroboros is. That's the snake swallowing its own tail. It's an infinite. So essentially, human beings on this planet have got caught in a time loop, and there is once again an opening to leave. We had an opening to leave when 13,000 years ago. I'm not sure how.
So the whole moon thing, and I came across this one too, but both like kind of similar. And Mia was just talking about fucking aliens. And it's so strange. But Spirit's saying the moon is not quite what he's saying it is. But it's that whole like turnaround thing. Like I think a lot of people are starting to say stuff like that. But I've never heard this one. I guess it's been out for a while, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee. I was let go on a medical discharge about a week.
Sorry, this is infamous Coast to Coast Area 51 caller.
Go. And
he was let go a week ago.
I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really, really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them. And there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now aren't.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
That was it. That's where it cut.
And I've never heard that one, but I thought it was the end of his. Man, maybe I didn't send it to you, but they put something in the air. We all know that by polluting the air anyway. Mingy, I can't believe I didn't send that to me. Where it takes away, that's why so many people can't taste. Not seeing right, hearing something. They all want to blame it on COVID, but it's something that they actually put in the air. Conspiracy theories, guys. But we all know like that shit was intentional anyway, So I like the way he called the aliens, though. He called them, because I don't like calling them aliens either, and I told you guys they find that offensive. And extraterrestrial, yeah, but he called it intellectual dimensional beings. Is that what it was? So, yeah, I mean, we all know that shit's happening with the government too, but in that other video, like I said too, like turn around every now and then. But the more I started questioning that and asking spirit and certain stuff and all the stuff like I've believed over the years, and I could all kind of base it around that too, And I literally, didn't I just say that to you guys the other day? Like, I'm going to have to tell my kids to turn around. That's a hard decision for them. So I'm like, well, you better tell your kids to turn around. Not a coincidence, it's coming out now too. So this is stuff we know, but it's almost like we think we can't do anything about it because it's the government, but there's more than enough fucking humans on this planet to overrun the fucking government. And situate shit again. But I also believe like at any time they can do what they have to do and just push more shit in the air and they can kill us off, And I've been saying this for years when I started that other channel about AI, and I talked about the aliens coming probably 6 months before it all started to become really a public thing. The message there was also for you guys to, like, if you have the opportunity to take a ship and you don't want to go with these people because you're like, yeah, right, dude, take your fucking family and be out. Seriously. What do you have to lose? And we already knew the government was hiding certain places, but he's talking about other places that people don't have knowledge on. It's not like, oh, in the equator, this and that. He's talking about other places. Like I could just feel the vibe when I listened. I must have, Spirit had me listen to it like 10 times, as if like there was something in the background. It was just like my clarity lately is a completely different clarity, but at the same time, I can also trick my mind into, is it real? Is it not? So there's definitely some shit going down that we're all aware of, but it's just different worlds. I mean, guys, there's umpteenth fucking planets just because we're taught our solar system. I mean, hundreds and thousands of other planets and galaxies. So I just don't, it just blows my mind that we're only taught, unless we study and, go to college for it. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. We're taught the very basics in school, but there is definitely ways to get us to different places. And that all came through, I'm hearing, in my prophecies. So that video might actually be prophecies of the modern day seer or something. I don't know why I made it so long. I even did that. I switched that name a couple times too. So instead of the AI video, it might actually be in the prophecy one. So, and then Mia last night, was kind of like in a little panic. It's not moving. I explained it's probably a satellite, Mia. But I just watched that video on aliens too, and I was like, well, aliens are my friends. Don't be mean. Don't be scared. You're fine. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, but I forget why I wanted to say that. And then that video. So, I don't know. I would say it'd probably be pretty fucking intimidating, but I'll take a ride. Can we grab everyone in my family? Coming with you. There's no question. I'm coming with you. I don't want to be left behind. And they're not trying to destroy it. They got to clean it up and start over for like 100 years. Like one guy explained it. I think it was in the same video. And I can't believe I didn't send it to me. But he explained it just like the veil. Like we just have like a projected veil or like a tarp, whatever you want to call it. And that tarp is a projection, and it shows clouds and planes, and it shows, we know planes are real, but all that stuff, it controls our weather, certain stuff, and there's always glitches when they go, I don't know, he was saying something about like an astronaut, like the shuttle goes up and you can't see them going through it because it's so quick. But then I did notice a couple things that Elon Musk was saying. Maybe that was it. Elon Musk was saying something about, which he actually sounded fucking intelligent for a minute, and people that like him are probably going to find that insultive. But if Spirit don't like somebody because they chose the wrong direction, I'm on Spirit's team. So I think he was the one that said something about taste and all that. But he's meant to be like a conspiracy theorist when it comes to shit like that as well. For people, because a lot of people like to watch him. So a lot of people will be like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And he's known this and that. And that's like clickbait. See, here we go with this clickbait shit again. So, yeah, he probably has some facts, but that's not the point. Like he's taken advantage of it. He's putting it out there and taking advantage of it in the same time without anybody seeing what he's actually doing. And I know a lot of people can't stand when I bring him into it, but he was obviously meant to come into these reads. A lot of psychics, spiritual people, they don't like him. A lot of us get that vibe, and it is what it is. And I'm not saying half the stuff he talks about is a lie, but he chose the wrong direction, and I don't know what that means. I think at one point he was part on Spirit's side, and then he chose a different direction. So when you have a role model like that playing a huge role with, you know, politics, science, all the NASA, all that shit, that gives him more clout, gives him the advantage. Everyone's would be like, he's the first person like talking about all this stuff and this and that. No. Us readers and other psychics have been talking about this for thousands and hundreds of fucking years, but nobody listens to us. But they're willing to listen to fucking Elon Musk. So that's the problem, because like he's got his own little cult, and I don't think cults are necessarily bad. I've had this fucking conversation with you. It's pretty much a cult as an organization. It's a multiple of many different words. We can make it sound like it's not a bad thing. It doesn't have to be religious. But when you have that many fucking sheep following the herd, following the black sheep, so he wants to be known as the black sheep, and people, I'm the odd one in the family or this and that. No, you're not. You just feel like you are because somewhere down the road you heard somebody talk about a black sheep. So you convince yourself you're the fucking black sheep. As if you're better and people just don't understand. It's your way of coping. Everything we've been taught is just our way of coping. So he's got a lot of followers, and I don't know how that's all going to go down with him, but they are using him because of what decision he chose to make. And I don't know what it is. But he chose the wrong side. He already had a deal. He already had a contract. It's like having a contract with the devil and then saying, oh, fuck it, I don't want to keep my deal. So there's consequences to everything. Everything that we have learned, almost everything we have learned growing up is all projected. I mean, they're now taking away fucking history, guys. They've been doing it for years. Like, why do they have the right to take away our fucking history and things out of books and things off the shelf? Making this organization more comfortable, making this species more comfortable. You know, like, you have a vagina or you have a fucking penis. The readers that even use the word they, to me, is disturbing because they're fucking catering to the generation, to the lost generation. And if you feel that way, I apologize. You're okay to feel that way. But that's, remember I made a video on that. I think on Dollars Method we talked about it. And it's your turn to manipulate the government because they played you. The government don't give a fuck. They're all laughing at you guys because you can't figure out what gender you want to be. They're laughing, but they created you. They created the monster. And I'm not calling you a monster, but they created. So again, if it was a child of mine, a family, like, cool, I'm totally cool. I'm not against you. I'm not going to sit and argue with you. Nothing. I'd love you to death. That's unconditional love. But it's unfortunate in this sense because the government is giving you a label and you guys are looking at it as like, this is awesome, blah, 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 blah. And ever since like the Black movement, and I mean, they deserve that. And now we have gender taking away history, Black history and shit. Fuck that shit. So this is the era. Like, this is the season. This is the. I totally didn't see myself having this conversation with you guys today. But that's, I mean, we all know that's a fact. With everything I'm saying. Or, I mean, you have your beliefs, I have mine. But plenty of people are waking up, and Elon Musk seems to be the one. I mean, he started the whole woken thing, the whole woke, which is to me bullshit, because then the government jumped on the bandwagon. They took a sacred ass fucking word and they use it ass fucking backwards. It's disturbing. He acts like he's on the spiritual side of things, and he's not. He's not even fucking close. He's working with the alphabet, I just heard. I don't know what that means. If any of you guys have an idea, please let me know. I feel like I should write that down. I feel like he probably wouldn't even like that I just said that. So that's telling me that I can probably find out what he's actually doing. Is it worth doing that? I don't know. I just got like Elon Musk. I literally just got like a channel in regards to like, there's Courtney and there's Eli. It's like, you know, Trump and I almost wanted to call him Makala. That actually sounds Hebrew, but I'm getting pulled to something else. Makala. Is it a city? What is Makala? Hawaiian. Is a Hawaiian word that means loosen, undo, open, liberate, forgive, free. It means a trail. And their name does have some religious undertones. Who is a god? Delivered from Hebrew, named Michael. The name has been both male and females commonly used. It's also a name of a municipal district in Kinshasa in the Congo. See, I keep going back to undo, loosen, open, close, as in like debt, forgive, to free, to unclearness, to open, to unfold, like a flower. So I don't know what that means, but I guess I'm gonna write Makala. So if anybody wants that job, you're more than willing to take it on. I won't turn around and see you like, hey, that was my idea. It's fucking all yours. Because I feel like there needs to be somebody that's up against him, because he's on almost every side of the, when it comes to politics, religions, beliefs. We don't have somebody else out there in the spotlight breaking down what he's actually saying. You know, it's almost like somebody has to completely go against him, and how like Eminem just went against Diddy and called Diddy out on a song, you know, certain stuff like that. So I just literally saw people in an audience being like, what do you say, guys? And I can hear them being, fuck you, Elon. Because I got pulled to like Oprah. Who wants a car? You all get a car. So yeah, I hope somebody's strong enough to do that. Because he's the one out there teaching this generation about consciousness and unconsciousness. And he's not the right person to have as a teacher, guys. He's not. So any of you want to snag that idea and has the balls to go against him, go for it. I don't think I have time to fucking go for that shit. But it's like women's rights. I had that conversation with the other day. I was having that conversation with my mom when it comes to women, and how my counselor she said that so many women in general over men are definitely superior in the medical field. which I think is, because women have high tolerance of pain and men don't. So they just assume when a man comes through the door, there's something more seriously wrong. And then I was talking to my mom and she's like, well, I mean, it is like that. Because I was like, is it really like that? And she's like, it is, but it's more like Black women and certain stuff. And I was like, well, that's unfortunate. And the insurance and certain stuff. But my message I'm getting is if Spirit wanted me to be an advocate for something like that, it's just women in general, guys. I'm not going to categorize. There's no need to fucking categorize fucking groups anymore. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, we have different cultures, different blood types, different race. Like, come on. Who fucking cares? We should be worried about this lost generation right now that get to decide whether or not they want to wake up and feel like a woman or a man. Like, this is the start of the government. It's been the start of the government. This has been their plan for that generation, guys. So I'm not going to lie, this generation is known as the lost generation. It's unfortunate because I had my children in this generation as amongst plenty of you. And it's their kids that are going to make a difference. So if we can't rattle this generation right now within the next 10 years, the government won. It's scary to the point where people could be half fucking robot and implanting this and there's things and chips that they can just inject into you these days and you can just do VR, PlayStation. They're doing shit like that right now and they've been doing it for years, testing on people. And your energy runs off of it. But yet people don't want to believe in energy. It's pretty fucking wild. You can clone a kid. So, we know we have little sayers and people go out there and they give their speeches and this and that and they talk to people and pump it up. But when we're going to talk about Spiteline, we're going to talk about Dateline, we're going to talk about this timeline, nobody's going against Trump. You got people on the news talking about it and this and that, and is it, but it's Trump's chose the wrong direction, but because maybe he knew his kids were the lost generations and he was the one that knew certain decisions had to be made. He can go this way or he can go that way. And he went with the government. He went with society, science, NASA. Because he can get more attention. And I just heard, where did I go wrong? So I don't know where he went wrong. And it was, I've been reading this for years. Right around the same time, Mark Zuckerberg, right around the same time, they were both they're both going down. Because Mark's pretty smart with stuff he wanted to create too, and so them two got together. And what about that video with Diddy calling out all those people? He's like, if I'm going down, you're going down. Did you see the video where he's got his kid on the lap and going down the piece of paper? The list of papers? And then the guy at the end of the video is like, did you see Diddy's face when we got up close? How his energy changed? And it's like, well, if the camera's going to zoom into my face too, my energy is going to change. So I don't know what that was all about. Like, it didn't make sense to me. As if he was lying or futuristic. Like, they just want to throw in little stories here. And so people believe, like, I don't know. I know I'm going to be part of humanity when it comes to certain stuff, but in a very vast, with all different shit. Who did I just send that one to? This one. But he's like, you see his face change? Tell me, like, I don't even understand what that's about. Everyone's face would change.
You guys heard or even seen P. Diddy's list? He's got a long list of celebrities that you know good and well, and some of them I've never even heard of. Y'all, check this out. He is not going down alone. Oprah. J-Lo. A-Rod. Will Smith. Alicia Keys. Justin Bieber. Kevin Hart. Mark Wahlberg. Snoop. DJ Khaled. Swiss Beats. Kelly Rowland. Chris Brown. Malone. Issa Rae. Sierra. Janelle Monáe. Yeah. My kids right there. Lizzo. Big Stallion. J Balvin. Naomi Campbell. That's your person. Let's get back to this. Okay. Just your album.
And another fucked up that I'm picking up right now is peanut butter, because he can hear the undertone with a frequency. So he's also talking to you. And I almost picked that up the other day. So the person that put the music behind this made it a point to reach a certain frequency, which is also fucked up. Yeah, I couldn't believe Jessica was in there. I was like, what?
Wilson. Usher. Demi Lovato. Shaq's whole family. Tracy Ellis Ross. Little Uzi Vert. Sway Lee. Rick Ross. Julia Hook. Diplo. E-Night. Rhea. Burna Boy. The show Surf Singer. The Coach Shirt. Coach Shirted.
It's like peanut butter doesn't want me to even hold the phone. It's okay.
Say the code. From the Pussycat Dog. That's right. Paris Gold. Colin Delaboon. Billy Harlow. Prince Montana. And a bunch of folks surprised you that I can't tell you. If they're so big, sometimes they get busy and forget that they committed to answering the phone in this instance. But tomorrow.
What is that, a castle behind them?
So big sometimes that they forget that they committed to answering the phone, and then have the audacity to be doing this type of crypto message with this young kid on his lap, and then in front of this big statue, this weird looking statue. Y'all see what I'm saying? You guys can tell as soon as the camera came close to his face, his whole demeanor changed. Y'all don't believe me? Watch this video again. His whole demeanor changed when the camera came close to his face. But yeah, Diddy said he's not going down alone, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos.
Of course, that's just another person putting something like a conspiracy theorist. I know a lot of people think like I'm that, and I'm not. I just have an opinion, and if I was, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not what it's fucking about. And Peanut Butter totally talked over that video the whole time, guys. And then he wanted to talk about consciousness. So it's like he as well is using subliminal lyrics and stuff and pointing stuff out that like, oh yeah, his face fucking changed. You just zoomed into his fucking face. Like, I don't even understand. Like, you're making something a big deal. Well, what he did was a big deal, but the whole, see how his demeanor changes when we go to his face? Like, so would everybody else's. I just don't get it, you know? And here's the thing too with, you know, Alba, Usher, like all these people with Justin Bieber and, you know, as victims. I get all these people were victims, and then it's the loot. Give me the loot, give me the loot. They got sucked into the money. And I'm hearing NBA. I've had this conversation with you before. Like the NBA is involved too. Like probably all the sports, football. Just right now, he's calling out the people in the public. I wouldn't want to go down by myself either. That's his way of, but it's a shitty way. But yeah, if he's getting charged, so should all these other people. So I do think at one point they were victims. Absolutely. But then they started making money. Acting like, all right, I'm going to put you in this business. Like so it's shit like that, guys. And I do feel that they were victims at one point. Not all of them, but enough of them. That's a fucking given. How many people probably used and abused non-fucking drugs there and brought their own doctors in to clean up fucking hookers and shit like that. So, or people that just volunteer to do it because they get paid so much fucking money. Like a whorehouse, So, people, that's just banking and banking and banking and banking. And, all those people eventually go down. Their taxes will be looked at. Like, this is a big thing. They'll look into it. It's going to take a long time. I'm here in Japan. So this something with Japan too. And we had this conversation. I lined up this guy. This guy was Japan. I'm also here in China, but this was Japan. And it was like a whole circle of like things. So that reading's coming back to me now. And Diddy wasn't a thing there. That was like a politic thing. I'm seeing like a new face on this. When I grabbed this, I got pulled straight to Japan. But I see that little face there. I see shit, and people will be like, I don't see a face. What are you talking about? It's like my favorite little rocks that have a face. I thought I left one out. I left that smiley one out intentionally, and I don't know where it went. I feel like that rock can protect us a little bit. I don't know where it went though. Oh, it's right here. I have so many faces of rocks. I just tend to find them. But look at her. She's just smiling at us. Half a mustache. Yeah, they were all kids. Right. So, but as they got older, they took advantage of the money. And think about how long it's been since Justin's made albums and this and that. Like, his money got to be running low. So, and there's still some type of enterprise. They're still linked to Japan. Well, I'm getting now that they're linked to Japan. Because Diddy didn't come in that one. And I have been saying Beyonce for a little while. A lot of people think Jay-Z and Beyonce, but I just got pulled to Jay-Z because that whole thing, like a lot of people, well, maybe a lot of people do know. I didn't really know, but the girl ended up going missing and nobody still found her. And I think somebody called out Diddy in regards to that because it was his mistress and she was pregnant and she threatened him to go public if he didn't give her a certain amount of money. And she's been missing ever since. Yeah, you could call out J-Lo too. Now he has a baby apparently. Yeah, well, maybe they hid her. They took the child and dumped her. Something. So it's the whole industry, but it's also, they are very much linked to the sports industry. It's a whole crime family, I heard. It's almost like a mob. Or they're linked to the mob. Got to run your money in different ways. And apparently they're doing internationally as well. Maybe that's where everyone's fucking banks account are. In Japan somewhere. I don't fucking know. But maybe a lot of people won't get caught because they were smart about where they hid their money. And it can't be traced. Yeah, they're saying the Kardashians too. Yeah. He didn't call them out in that video though. But I don't know if it was Eminem that called that out in the song. Can't believe I didn't send that one to me either. I'm actually surprised. Wait, I think this is the guy I sent it to my dad.
But then he slowed it way down.
Oh no, this is the JFK
And it
thing.
was so slow.
How the driver shot JFK. Do you guys, this one kind of blew my mind, the name with all the sayings that we say in our life. Oh, this mental awareness is big too. Did you guys see the one with the airplane? So sad. I'm going to play this just to switch up the energy before I toss cards. But we know a lot of these sayings, but it gets deeper and deeper. And I'm like, holy shit, like I don't even want to say these sayings anymore. I actually feel bad. It's people don't even realize we're talking negative about history. That doesn't help. It's kind of fucked up. And I have my own belief or my own, not belief, but like meaning, or it's history. But every time we say something like that, I don't think people understand that the devastation and certain things behind it. So there's quite a few that I've never heard, and there's some that I have heard.
History 101. They used to use urine to tan animal skins. So families used to all pee in a pot, and then once a day it was taken and sold to the tannery. If you had to do this to survive, you were piss poor. But worse than that were the really poor folk who couldn't even afford to buy a pot. They didn't have a pot to piss in and were the lowest of the low. The next time you are washing your hands and complain because the water temperature isn't just how you like it, think about how things used to be. Here are some facts about the 1500s. Most people got married in June because they took their yearly bath in May, and they still smelled pretty good by June. Since they were starting to smell, however, brides carried a bouquet of flowers to hide the body odor, hence the custom today of carrying a bouquet when getting married. Baths consisted of a big tub filled with hot water. The man of the house had the privilege of the nice clean water, then all the other sons and men, then the women, and finally the children. Last of all, the babies. By then, the water was so dirty, you could actually lose someone in it. Hence the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Houses had thatched roofs, thick straw piled high, with no wood underneath. It was the only place for animals to get warm, so all the cats and other small animals, mice, bugs, lived in the roof. When it rained, it became slippery, and sometimes the animals would slip and fall off the roof, resulting in the idiom, it's raining cats and dogs. There was nothing to stop things from falling into the house. This posed a real problem in the bedroom, where bugs and other droppings could mess up your nice clean bed. Therefore, a bed with big posts and a sheet hung over the top afforded some protection. That's how canopy beds came into existence. The floor was dirt. Only the wealthy had something other than dirt, leading folks to coin the phrase, dirt poor. The wealthy had slate floors that would get slippery in the winter when wet, so they spread thresh, straw on floor to help keep their footing. As the winter wore on, they added more thresh until, when you opened the door, it would all start slipping outside. A piece of wood was placed in the entranceway, subsequently creating a threshold. In those old days, they cooked in the kitchen with a big kettle that always hung over the fire. Every day, they lit the fire and added things to the pot. They ate mostly vegetables and did not get much meat. They would eat the stew for dinner, leaving leftovers in the pot to get cold overnight, and then start over the next day. Sometimes stew had food in it that had been there for quite a while, and thus the rhyme, peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot 9 days old. Sometimes they could obtain pork, which made them feel quite special. When visitors came over, they would hang up their bacon to show off. It was a sign of wealth that a man could bring home the bacon. They would cut off a little to share with guests, and would all sit around and chew the fat. Those with money had plates made of pewter. Food with high acid content caused some of the lead to leach onto the food, causing lead poisoning death. This happened most often with tomatoes, so for the next 400 years or so, tomatoes were considered poisonous. Bread was divided according to status. Workers got the burnt bottom of the loaf, the family got the middle, and guests got the top, or the upper crust. Lead cups were used to drink ale or whiskey. The combination would sometimes knock the imbibers out for a couple of days. Someone walking along the road would take them for dead and prepare them for burial. They were laid out on the kitchen table for a couple of days, and the family would gather around and eat and drink and wait and see if they would wake up, creating the custom of holding a wake. England is old and small, and the local folks started running out of places to bury people. So they would dig up coffins and would take the bones to a bone house and reuse the grave. When reopening these coffins, 1 out of 25 coffins were found to have scratch marks on the inside, and they realized they had been burying people alive. So they would tie a string on the wrist of the corpse, lead it through the coffin and up through the ground and tie it to a bell.
Isn't that crazy? Like holding awake, stuff like that. He's got a couple of videos like that, and I like when people bring knowledge back into the world like that. So in all reality, it's like holding a bouquet. It's not like it's a sign of respect or tradition. You know, nobody's remembering the 1500s when they're walking down the aisles and, you know, I'm holding this bouquet for you guys in the sense of like you guys are sacred or whatnot, you know. So they only did it because they were stinky. But we carried on that tradition, and a lot of people didn't even know why, probably just because they were flowers and they were beautiful, as if like that tradition started in a beautiful way, but it's not how it started. You know? So, and that whole wake thing, I get it. People used to do that for days. You know, the meaning of actually holding awake. They were waiting to see if the person actually fucking woke up. So I just got pulled to caveman after I just said that. So they didn't know like the pewter and certain stuff made them sick. But I did just get pulled to a caveman, like the one we would see in your head if you were to close your eyes and imagine a caveman. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe just from the beginning of time. And then I'm also getting pulled to like the gods. Like it drives me fucking bananas. Like we were here, people had to be here before Jesus or like Allah, like all these things, but yet nobody questions that. Like I just don't fucking get it. Like where is people's consciousness right now? I mean, it's been gone for a long time, and a lot of people are waking up because we're going into 4D. So I hope we see a lot more of it. But there really needs to be people out there advocating. And I know I'm saying it, and I'll be doing it. And they just added another thing to my fucking plate. But I don't think I want to go up against fucking Elon and decipher everything he's saying so somebody else gets a different perspective of it. But it clearly seems pretty fucking important because he's the only one out there as a public figure explaining consciousness. And there's so many hundreds of thousands, like a spiritualist would know because we've been watching stuff for a long time and that type of stuff, beliefs. I just heard all the way to paganism. So, but he's like the only one in the public eye when it comes to like politics and science and money and business. He's the only one teaching people right now. Teaching, you know, attempting to trick humanity right now. And like somebody has to go against him. I've been saying for years this whole debate thing, have a debate channel, but like somebody literally needs to call him out. Like me against Elon, court against Elon. Or Elon against the gods, like something, guys. So it catches everybody else's attention. So that way, when he says something, you can completely break it down in a different way. Government's not going to like you for doing that either, but too fucking bad. He was the whole one, freedom of speech and doing all this and yada, yada, yada. But if somebody was to go against him, he'd want to throw some fucking laws in there for sure. A lot of people don't know about his background. They just know, oh, he grew up this way, and now he's a strong businessman. No, the fuck he's not. No, the fuck he's not, guys. Super fucking annoying. But who am I to complain? I could match everything he says. I just feel like it's a waste of time, but it's definitely not a waste of time. It's like the whole Robin Hood thing with the stocks. If I'm going to get on it, I got to get on that shit quick because it's coming in. I think they said December. And so many people that are rich and wealthy and cocky, they're going to be like, who is this chick? Blah, 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 blah. And they won't stop believing you until you take a majority of their fucking shares. Money out of their pocket. And it's like a one-time hit. It's not me that's going to continuously do it. It's a one-time thing. And I think it's going to go into December. So, I mean, now Spirit just gave me another idea to add to my fucking plate. So you guys are more than welcome to take these ideas and put them together. The areas of life that Spirit involves me in is wild. And it's not, and I've said this before, and it's really not what it is. It's like you're biting off, chewing off more than you can chew, biting off more than you can chew. No. I'm just good at all those things. I have knowledge behind all that stuff. You can go to any single one of my videos and other channels, and that shit's already happened. Like, it blew my mind. What was it? The Prophecies of the Young Seer? Or what? No, yeah, it was my book. And I think I was on Members. And all those predictions that came out. And I'm just the messenger. But those all came into fruition. It blew my mind. I didn't even know all that shit happened. So that's why it rattled me a little bit, because I was like, all that shit happened. Except for the 9/11 thing. I'm convinced that's still happening. So, again, I'm just the messenger, and there's so many people out there like, what did I tell you about Diddy? Like, come on, like, it's entertainment. Like, you get all excited, like, oh my God, or somebody will say something and tell you where something's time stamped and you did this, and it's like, then you're hyping up the other energy. We are fucking messengers, psychics, oracles, however you want to look at somebody. And like Notre Dame, certain stuff, how like prophecies and all this, and a lot of them came true. Like, we're meant to do what we're meant to do, and somebody has to take over the whole Notre Dame thing, and that hasn't happened yet either. But Spirit still wants that type of person in this generation or the next generation to create another book. So I'm like, there's so many different ways of being psychic, guys. Like, I feel like I'm psychic in different ways. Like, that has to do with the future, and then it all plays out. And probably psychic with some of this shit too. But to me, this is daily news gossip. I'm just here to try to coach you through it. I heal people, so we're always going to have situations come into play. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, you know? So, and I think that's another reason with this shift, I was telling you all about like the Charlie situation and certain stuff, and I've never threw anybody's name in like that, but you guys have always known about the 2 different Charlies on this channel the whole time. It was kind of natural. But I'm not going to be talking about our private business with that all the time, but then the other day, I know I'm very good. I could heal relationships, but there's so many people that are not going to want to take 2. It takes 2 people, right? And one always gets dragged to couples therapy because you don't want to do this. And sometimes it's completely fucking pointless. I mean, when I first went to couples therapy with my ex-husband, like for the very first time, and I brought up him cheating, the guy literally basically said it was my fault. I was so disappointed. It blew my fucking mind. And he said it in a way where he didn't come out and say it's your fault, but he definitely said it's your fault in his way. And I was like, okay, obviously you're all about the man. So it's shit like that. But that's why you got to be careful. And then that whole feminist shit came out the other day, and my counselor said that, and I didn't even want to go to a counselor. I was so sick of 5 fucking doctors. See a counselor yet? See a counselor yet? As if it was all in my head. And I just got my lumbar spine MRI back, and everything's 10 times worse. Everything, I still have like spine compression. This is all the stuff that they were hoping physical therapy would help, and it didn't. Now everything's worse. I actually have fluid in my bone marrow. So, and that happens from like a big blow to the back, which is exactly what happened to me. So it's just the waiting game and stuff with health, and that reading the other day all about being a feminist. I don't know if that was members or YouTube, some type of group. I started this reading off with some type of group. So Spirit's just throwing ideas at me left and right. These are the opportunities we need to take advantage of. So when a lot of people say, like, I never saw an opportunity, this and that. No, it's there. Every day you wake up, you can choose to look at something differently. The moment you open your eyes, you make your choice for the day. You see it in your eyes, everlasting love. So this transition to 4D has been happening probably for the last 20 years, 19 years. But now we're like really in it, and it's subtle, and nobody wants to talk about it. And it just makes me think like what spirit guides or who readers are working with, because more than half of the spiritual community should already have this knowledge. I feel like I'm literally the only one talking about it. So when somebody continues to say 3D, it's fucking stupid. We're not in 3D. Am I in my own little world here? Spirit's got me in my own little world? And I'm going to convince you it's 4D? I don't fucking know. But that's what's happening right now with the government. They're trying to convince you of your own fucking reality. Maybe I am separated from that whole fucking clan. And people will look at me as fucking crazy. I don't give a fuck. Oh, the ones that we're probably higher than that. Mentioned in the 5D, I'm not going to lie. Because now we stepped into the 4. So if you were in the 3 to the 4, now you go to the 6, right? Maybe like 2 levels up. I don't know. All the way until 9, 10 dimension. So right now, like me even thinking that thought tells me I'm way more fucking conscious than I think I am. But what I'm saying holds value. It's almost like you can't argue it. It's just giving somebody a different perspective. So who the fuck knows, guys, but we definitely need some advocates out there. Big time. And I always felt like I'd be an entrepreneur, but I feel like I'm going to be like a multitasker, a multi-entrepreneur. What do they call entrepreneurs that have a lot of different entrepreneurs? I mean, different businesses. And, you know, some people, again, like I said, will look at it like you bit off more than you can chew, or you start something and you don't finish it. Nope. That's a prime example that Spirit wants to point out of all the ideas that I've had for years now. I could have already put into reality, and I haven't yet. That's missing an opportunity. But with everything I've been talking about lately, it makes sense with all my other channels, because now everything can kind of come together. It comes to light. But I still want to keep them as the other channels if I have something to say about those ones, you know. So it's breaking down the other channels and spending time with all the other channels. So let's see what we get. We get what we get, and we don't get upset. I did get pulled to Halloween. There was a couple cards to choose from. Got new decks coming Friday. One deck I just forgot that it's been sitting in there that I absolutely wanted. And I'm like, oh, October's right there. I got to get one for Halloween. But I didn't do the traditional Halloween. I did, because a lot of them are like so cute. I'm like, I already have one like that with a little ghost. So I went a little deeper. I don't know if it's not the Day of the Dead. I just thought I was just so pulled to them for the Halloween. It is horror tarot cards, horror, folk legends, things like that. But like, to me, like, there's nothing about this that's horror. Like, I love the depiction on the card, and Spirit's been having me look at the depiction lately. And they're just, to me, they're just gorgeous. So I'll use those as like my October card. But the depiction on these say a lot. And like I said, I've definitely been vibing with the depiction lately. That's the world. So the Sun, Judgment. And that one made me sad because it reminded me of like the witches being burnt. So I was seeing things in these cards that I don't even think they intended to put out there like that. But that's what I went for our Halloween deck. That's what I chose. None of that is scary. I love images like that. When you can stare at an image for decipher one card for an entire hour, that's pretty wild. And again, it's been all about image and channeling more than the meaning of the word. So let's see what we get for the rest of September. Just the 4 cups over here at the bottom of the deck. Everlasting love. 10 of coin. Got pulled to December. Mia made it a point to tell me her birthday's in 3 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck? October 19th. So don't tell me that. Lonnie's a week later. Page of Cups. 10 of coin. 4 of swords. Page of Cups. Someone is like, I almost feel like there's a needy person around here. Did that come out in members the other day, the 10 of coins? Oh yeah, it was like something with your family, right? And it's like, gimme, gimme, gimme. It's not really resting. Unless somebody's passed out and their hand is like that. Page of Cups, kind of ironic. It's a nest with eggs. It's a happy feeling. This 3 of Cups, it's like they're playing in the air, but it's almost like they're taking out another bird. So it's, once again, it's good omen, bad omen, negative, positive. This could be someone thinking about your happiness. This could be something to do with career. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of coin. Strength. Members had strength at the end of the deck. I don't know why I feel I need to tell. Like, remember I used to say that to you guys? Like, I didn't want to say what was on members. It's not like, I get it. Different energy comes out. But if it's here, I gotta tell you. But I don't feel like it's the same message. Remember, I was like the Four of Swords. There's the whole, was talking about me and Charlie. They left us here. It doesn't feel like that. But this strength feels like the members one. So that's relevant. And again, I don't think they had the Ten of Cups. I think you guys had the Ten of Coin. But it was all about family. But I'm not getting a family vibe here. I did just get pulled to a family who has like transgender. And at the hospital, I used to work with somebody who's transgender, and I adore him. But he's been going to concerts lately, and even their music, like the stuff they listen to, is different. I wouldn't say deeper, but it's almost like it pulls them into the point, like, I'm stronger now, I've suffered, but it's putting it out there in the sense of like promoting like their trauma, and it's okay. Like I wasn't crazy about it. I didn't get that positive vibe that everybody was rocking in the stadium. To me, it was more, I wouldn't say it was negative, but it's negative because all they're doing is, putting that image in your head again, but they're telling you to be strong. We'll get through this, but I feel bad for transgenders or people who call themselves they, so many different things. Like I saw it in the Red Cross, like certain people couldn't give blood or certain, and it's incredibly fucked up. Like, your blood's not good enough, give me a fucking break. But sad is what it is. So I do kind of feel like there's sorrow here, but happiness at the same time. And I did just get pulled to a transgender household. Or they, whatever, but you're going to love your kid no matter what unconditionally. Well, you should. Some people don't because of society. And our last generation is just like, we look at it as a joke. And I think it's a joke too. But I don't think you're a joke. I think you got born into an era that you chose to be in when you came here. And this is going to be one of the hardest eras, I think, that has come around for a long time for our children right now. Anybody from like 8 to like mid-20s, late 20s. Mid-20s. No, early 20s. Anyone that age right now is going to suffer in a way. COVID hit. The government, it's all lined up, guys. That's why I say we are the ones that have to shape it and fix it, because it's too late for this generation. I hate to say it, and I know for the longest time Spirit didn't even want me to say that because it's kind of rude. But they are the lost generation. There's no hope there anymore. The hope is within their children that they start having now. So if any of your kids had babies in between like the time frame now of like 8 years old and early 20s, it's their children that's going to make the difference. The ones that are being born now in the last 8 years. They're the ones that are going to change the world. If they can't change humanity, I don't know what they're going to choose. And that's pretty scary because that means we're still going to be on this earth in 20, 30 years and we're going to have to experience it as well. And I'm getting pulled to the Holocaust over here. So I don't know. That doesn't sound good, guys. As elders, we have everything stripped from us. Doesn't sound good. That's why I say if you see a ship, an alien, you want to come on, I'd take that ride real fucking quick. Pick up all your family, and go. There's so many different worlds and dimensions, and that guy's right. The government knows of, and they can put us in. We can be safe. We can start over and have all this fresh stuff, and you can still have everything that is man-made. But I think the whole point of the whole thing with these 1500 talks, and that came in the other day too, like, you just got to start over. That's why I said I'm perfectly fine. I'm not worried about my fucking retirement. I could take, even if I took 20,000, 30,000, 40, and went to an island, that's more than enough money for me to live off for the rest of my life. The only thing that I'd really have to consider would be my health care, but I would, make sure that there's a medicine doctor or a medical witch, something. I'm cool with that. But that's me. So the government definitely has something up their sleeve for this generation, the ones that are starting to have babies. So that's what a 12, 13 year time span. That's all we got left. So, and you know how a lot of people can't have women right now? Can't have babies, infertility. That's all manipulated. Because they don't want this generation to populate like that, because they want to get control of the generation before they start having kids. You notice at the same time, it's all about abortion laws. People really need to put this shit together. Like, we the people got to get up and fight. It's not a coincidence. All this shit is happening at the same time. COVID, not a coincidence, guys. And there's another one coming. And it's sad. It's coming soon. And I knew there was another one coming soon before I predicted COVID, but I'm just the messenger. I had already talked about that virus months before it came in, and it was going to be bad. We didn't know what it was. We just knew it was a virus. And I still feel that whole thing, like Trump being appealed, is still playing out. But I think he's going to come in too. But he's got competition, and that sucks, because she's a good talker, and she still has a chance. And I've always said to you guys, like, it's the Republicans have to win. They got to do it a couple, elections, a good 8 years to change something. So this presidency, this election is a big deal. Because if she gets it for another 4 years, and then they kind of know they can't fix things. So to me, it was positive Trump was going to win, or is going to win. And, and that's from Spirit. That's just a message from Spirit. But it does make me a little nervous, and how many people, like, she's got a lot of people's attention. But if they look underneath, but they don't want to look underneath. Because now people are seeing the world as shit and this and that and yada yada. But so they still think like the Democrats have a better chance of running it. Think about liberals running your city. You're fucked. Just my opinion, guys. Just my opinion. Everybody in the entire world for the next couple months, especially the next 3 months, is crucial. And it's going to be tough. It's not going to be an easy transition into winter. So that's unfortunate, but it's necessary. So watch when you're driving cars, shit like that, guys. Like, it's like a full moon for 3 months. It's a scary thought. But those who are moving up, riding the wave, you're good. But you still have to be extra cautious of other people's in cars and other people around you. I just got pulled to like shootings. I'm still getting pulled to like that church that prediction I did years and years and years ago that I don't think has come into fruition yet. It could have, probably in another country. No, they're telling me no, it hasn't happened yet. There's still going to be like a massive shooting at a church. Well, I wouldn't say massive, but it'd be in the public eye. Not like Africa, Congo is. Might even happen in like the United States. You know, who's that guy for the longest time? He came on TV like 20 years ago. My ex-husband used to watch him. What the fuck is his name? He was very motivating, what he would say. So if you're like at a big public arena, something like that, going to see like a psychic, or to me it's linked to religion. I forget his name. It's like at the tip of my tongue, going to drive me nuts. It could be something like that where it happens in public. Well, that's what I'm saying, Shannon. Like, she's got a shot just because they set her up to kind of win it. But I was told that Trump's going to win, but they fixed the last election. So why wouldn't they fix this one? Or it's going to go the other way around and Trump's going to take it. And then they're going to base the statistics on what states, things like that. And he probably would have took the years previous, but Biden took it. But maybe it was intentional for Biden to take it. For people to see and wake up. Because if Biden didn't take it, people might not be seeing a lot of shit right now. To me, all the gods have control over this. We're just a projection. We feed other planets frequencies. Another reason why we just stepped in the 4D. It's more of a conscious thing. And ever since that awakening the following weekend, a couple weekends ago, I feel so much more conscious, and it's like, all right, now I can think and put things together. Like my brain is working differently. And I think it's happening to a lot of people and they just don't understand it, or I feel like I don't belong here and people are talking about it now. And it's like when we started our fucking journey 20 years ago, 5 years, whenever it was, like we had that feeling too, but it's them being manipulated by the government right now, this generation. That's why, like even on shit now, you got to fill out, to register. They is now there. They're still fighting for the they on the birth certificate. What parents are going to make that decision? Believe it or not, plenty of them will, because they want their child to have a choice. Like, what the fuck? You're fucking your child up more than possible. Like, you are fucking your child up for the fuck up parents that do that. And I am going to call you fuckers out because you fucking bunch of fucking morons. You're the fucking problem. Unconditional love, that's it. You don't put it out there like you can be whoever you want to be. Yeah, how about you can be whatever you want to be when you get older? Whatever your interest is. Whatever you daydream about. Whatever you play about. Things like that. Hold that dream. Hold that thought. Because the government wants to attack the generation now that's being born. And they're doing that by attacking the parents of in between the age of 8 and 21. Early 22. Just 20s. And just 20s. Okay. So 12 years left. And then these children will be around that age. And by then, hopefully the education system gets situated, cleaned up. And it's a whole new awakening for like 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds in 12 years. Their own opinion. And that's where we would have the strength to overpower. But it's our brains all we got to do is our brains overpowering the government. So that's why it's so important for people like me, influencers, and I don't even like the word fucking influencers because, you know, the government trashed that fucking word. But it's up to us right now in this time period to teach the ages between 8 and 20 right now. Look what's happening with all the fucking college kids. It's, you know, so it's our time to get out there. It's going to take a couple of years to be heard. I mean, you could be an overnight sensation, but it's still going to take a couple of years for it to click for certain people. You know, it's not, you know, things like that. Hi, baby. Shaking a little tail feather. Let's see. Hi to everybody. He's like, nope, I want to be close. Climbing up my arm. Can't get. Don't show me. Huh? This is my little butter. Butter, butter, butter. Butter, butter, butter. Because I am getting, it was like a Nazis type feeling. And I do feel like that community is getting bigger. White supremacy. Just right under our eyes and we don't even realize it. Gangs, groups, cults, they're all growing. Because they need to be tougher and stronger. Like, I get why they're all doing it. Because one day, it's possible, we might have to fight for our own fucking freedom. And the point, like, in the Holocaust or, you know, Jews being taken away. It's shit like that, guys. So it's like they feel, the government right now wants us to feel like we have the power. And they have the power. We have our own power to get out of it. It's the one thing we have in our brain to find our way out. But it's not until something clicks and you find your way out. If you never find your way out, the government's got you. You're just a puppet. And the universe is letting all this happen right now because it's major. It has to. And it has a lot to do with AI too. This is a major time in history. This is like when the wheel turns. You got certain periods in history that it's like, damn, this is one of it for us. It's been happening for over a year. So apparently we weren't done having certain conversations because I can't even read this as normal tarot right now. I guess it's just like I'm hearing like a global event. Like this video is just, it's a global thing. So I wouldn't even say the rest of September. It's just kind of currently what's going on. 2 of Wands. I keep getting that song. I forget. Queen of Cups, 3 of Wands. Carrie, no. Who's the one that sang the Cup song? But it's that movie where she joins that band in chorus. Save the last dance for me. Frank Sinatra's been coming out, but I think that one's Bublé, Michael Bublé. So this, you could be the Queen of Cups here, figuring out or going in a new direction. You're emotional as to your future. You might need to take a pause with something real quick. If it's meaningful. It's like me telling you how I felt about like Charlie. Is it a real feeling or do I just miss physical touch? And I don't want to look at it like that. But you got to be able to decipher what's healthy and what's not and why you're actually there. Brain's consciousness is awaking slowly. And that's why you have all this generation right now, which is a bigger population voting for Democrats is what I'm hearing too. But I'm even getting like illegals. You know, they give them housing, they give them cars, food stamps, Section 8, everything, just because they came from another country. You know, I heard it's just paper anyway, but as in like money. But it does take away from us. But it shouldn't because the government creates the money. They can, like the currency, they can print out a lot more, but they put it all in the public eye because they want everybody against each other. This is a big, like, fighting for your rights type thing. I don't know if this is some type of protest that's coming in and there's a shooter and it has to do with like a religion factor. But I am getting pulled to the school and the church. But in the sense of like that being in like an arena. Pitch Perfect, yeah. Anna, yeah. That's it. Whatever's like in my head, I keep hearing that song, but it's not the song is not clicking, but it's from that movie, that soundtrack. And I'm getting white supremacy here. Five of Swords, yeah. See, it's not, but this could also be mind manipulation too, emotional manipulation, letting go, giving up, maybe defeated. But I don't know, the Knight of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, so this is personal and emotional as well. And it's going to be an emotional few months anyway with this transit. I get like hot-tempered too, or like it's just karmic. A lot of karmic cycles have to be broken right now. And you got the Star with the Three of Cups, Temperance. So you might have to pause, but there's something here that it's like, but you don't really need to pause. It's supposed to be going in a new direction, but the thing is, like, I'm even looking at this, the Two of Wands is going that way. I watched a video the other day, and I've been saying it to you lately too, like, you should, really go by the moon calendar. And the woman was like 141 years old. She got diagnosed with cancer. She ended up coming back to her old country and working with like her medicines from Earth. And she's just living and living and living and living. And we've said that many times. And she also stated the minute you do the minute you do chemo, it kills all your cells. So yeah, you are going to die. That's a big choice whether or not to do chemo. And they want to convince you if you don't do it, it's too late. That's the pharmaceuticals, You're bringing in business for them. There's a cure for cancer, guys. They can fucking duplicate a fucking kid. They're just always going to keep it that way because that's how it lowers the population. So I do worry about my mother in these next 3 months too, because there is something coming that they're putting in the air. And it is like an anthrax attack without people, with the whole COVID thing, without knowing it. We all have theories behind it, where it came from, how it started. But I think it was just, they put it in our air and blamed it on another country. So maybe this is where the whole Japan thing is coming in. But, they were blaming China. Or were they blaming Japan? Wow, I can't believe I forgot that thought. So do they blame China or Japan? I could have sworn it was China, but I'm hearing it was Japan. So Japan and the United States right now, there's something huge going on between them. There's definitely like I just heard a leak or something big going on between those two countries that we don't know about right now with Japan. And Caden's 17 right now, so when he has kids, it matters. But for not his whole life, but since I can remember, he still wants to move to Japan. And he's like, wouldn't it be cool if we had like another highway and you can just go faster? Like, he has this need for speed in him, and I'm like, no. And that's scary to me. He doesn't even have a fucking license yet, and he's got a need for speed. I was like, I'll put you at a racetrack and we can spend money on that stuff and you can race professionally and get taught the right way if you have a need for speed. Because then he was telling me like how cool it was. Like, he saw a video and cops are chasing this fucking car, and the people in the backseat of the car, they opened the roof, and it was almost like intentional, and they poured out a whole bunch of oil on the roads. They're lucky they didn't kill a fucking cop. But Caden said it was like, what a fucking intelligent idea to escape the cops. And it's like, oh, hell no. Like, all of a sudden, I feel like he just got trapped in this, like, I don't know, guys. I'm not liking it. Makes me not want to even let him have a fucking license right now, to be quite fucking honest with you. And Mia said it to me before, too. Like, because Anthony speeds here and there. They, they think they're cool and this. And then it's like, you can kill somebody in a heartbeat. You can kill somebody's fucking family because you want to be fucking stupid. If you seriously have a need to speed, we're doing it the fucking right way. And he's like, no, why don't they just make another highway? And I'm like, he's actually scaring me. And you know what? 17. Look at 17. Remember the whole deaths with the 17-year-olds? See, I don't like that shit. And this is why I feel like he got sucked into something with the star card. And I was talking about 17-year-old boys, people that were dying, a lot of 17-year-olds. But it was boys. So, and it was TikTok, but that's China. But I'm also here in Japan. So there's something going on with Japan that we don't know about in regards to the U.S., guys, and it's a big deal. And Caden, in school, he talked about, like, what the fuck is his name? South Korea. King Lu, I can't even think of the dictator there. Oh my God, my mind doesn't want to put that together right now because I feel like my mind's in here. So I'm actually seeing it myself with my own kid, and he's 17. And that card is 17. 3 of Cups, friends. Like, there's teenagers, 2 deaths of teenagers on my Facebook that family lost over the weekend with a car accident, not to mention that one I told you guys about with the girl that was 17. But, my kids, the kids grew up in that town. And it probably has a lot to do with the frequency and whatever, the government is fucking with their brains or tweaking right now. It's definitely something. And I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing it in Caden. And it's scaring me. Like, why all of a sudden would you ever need to speed? And then I tell him, okay, well, we'll get you on the tracks. And he's like, nah, they just need to build another highway. So there's shit on TikTok. There's shit everywhere that's influencing our kids right now because I almost don't even want him to have a license. I'm not going to lie. But he's going to be 18 soon. He did the same thing as Mia. But Mia drove for like a couple years before she got her license. And she's still very conscious and cautious. Caden, whole nother story right now. I honestly don't even want him to have his license. But I'm not going to be able to stop it in May. 17-year-olds are definitely being attacked right now, and I completely forgot about that entire reading. The 17-year-olds are a victim. This sucks. My son just got taken by whatever this is. That sucks. Unless his parents are going to be experiencing the shit. And it's like, what the fuck? Sucks. I don't know why 17-year-olds are targeted right now, but I remember saying they were going to be targeted for a few months. It's all coming back to me now. But all of those had to do with death. So I don't know if they're seeing death as like fun or they don't care. You're going to die someday. Like, it's almost like a program went out. And it's like the cars driving off the roads, automatic cars. That movie they just did, what was it, Julia Roberts? No, who played in that movie? So I'm not even comfortable with him being in cars with certain people right now. Because 17-year-olds are being targeted. Yeah, it's not just the age. They're just being targeted. Like, they don't care if they die. They don't care if they speed. And that's not cool. I don't know how to stop that. That's kind of disturbing. Sit on my lap, buddy. You can sit on my lap, buddy. Come here. Come see Mama. Okay. I'm sorry. You could sit on my lap. I needed my hand back. What the fuck? That scares me. 6 of Swords moving forward. 5 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I almost feel like we can't win here. And if that's the case, Spirit made it that way. But again, it will only last for so long. Oh, baby. Yeah, do it, yeah. Okay. Buddy, come on, come see Mama. You can stay on my chest. Come. You just gotta find a place where I'm not bouncing everywhere. There you go. No? You wanna stay on my hand? Okay. You can stay with Mama. Yeah. You can stay with Mama. That sucks that 17-year-old messages is coming through again. I'm also getting sent with 17 days. And mental health is big because it's probably why I opened the other channel, but just talking about my story and talking about things. And I just saw a video with somebody flying a plane. But they don't make that shit public, and it's pretty fucking sad. I'm gonna play it for you guys. If it's too much for you, just click off. Mute it for 5 minutes. I don't think the video is that long, but but the news doesn't share this shit with us.
I found myself in a bit of a predicament. I'm in the air right now and just kind of soaring around. 449, are you not supposed to be on that aircraft? I did a kind of a bad thing, kind of a selfish thing, but it's all good. I'm going to go check out Rainier. Yeah, 449, so you hijacked the plane is what you're saying? Yeah, I'm afraid I did.
What the hell? Holy shit. Oh my god. The fucking Alaska Airlines Q400. What the fuck is he doing over here?
Any idea if a Dash 8 Q400 can do a barrel roll?
Just flying the plane around, do you seem comfortable with that?
Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so
Video games.
I know what I'm doing a little bit. Nah, everything's peachy clean. Just did a little circle around right here. It's beautiful. I think I got some gas to go check out the Olympics. And, yeah.
Well, if you can see the Olympics, the weather's good. I can see the Olympics from my window, and it looks pretty good over there.
All right, I felt like turbulence around right here, but there's no clouds hardly.
Oh, that's just the wind blowing over all the bumpy surfaces there.
Oh, copy that. Man, have you been to the Olympics? These guys are gorgeous. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I have been out there. It's always a nice drive.
They call him the Sky King.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I would hope it is for a guy like me. Damn it, Andrew! People's lives are at stake here.
Now, Rich, don't say stuff like that.
I told you, I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings in my ear.
Hey, Rich, this is Captain Bill here. We're still listening. My airplane's doing just fine. How's yours?
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them since the year that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now. Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip, you think?
Well, I was trying to figure out how to use the autopilot first.
If you were to do it, how would you do it? Hey, you think if I land this successfully, Alaska will give me a job as a pilot?
I think they would give you a job doing anything if you could pull this off.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna land it, like in a safe kind of manner. I think I'm trying to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, I'll just go nose down and call the night.
Picker upper one, COI1 just completed a barrel roll. That's why Chief McCrum, he did a barrel roll. A he cleared the surface of the water by approximately 10 feet. But Rock 2 from Rock 1, the TOI1 did a barrel roll and just barely missed hitting the water.
All right, Rich, this is Captain Bill. Congratulations. You did that. Now let's try to land that airplane safely and not hurt anybody on the ground.
All right. Damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I was kind of hoping that was going to be it, you know? Too long. I feel like one of my engines is going out or something.
We're watching that because you know what I picked up on too? You notice how it was dead silence with peanut butter? The other one, he was trying to block out the noise, and peanut butter left that because there's mental awareness here. And they call him the king of the sky because no one's ever attempted to do that. But you want to know how he learned to do that? Video games. So that's what I'm talking about. Like they're getting sucked into some, I don't even know. He was just an average guy that literally just hijacked a fucking plane. I don't, where was security? Where was all these people? I don't even understand. I don't think there was anything on the plane. It was just him. How did he even get on that plane and take off? Well, because he played a video game that taught him everything. And he did it. And this is the fucking energy right now of snapping and trying to figure out what's going on. But this is an intentional governmental fucking thing. It's warped. And that's why they call him the king of the sky. Because nobody's ever attempted to do that. And it's just wild. I shared that because I knew it was important because it's all about mental health. But there's a lot of things he says in that video that people should really pick up on. He publicly landed that plane. He didn't want to. He didn't want to go to jail. And honestly, peanut butter didn't say a damn word. But the whole P. Diddy thing, he was just, because guy, whoever, I didn't even notice the face thing. To me, it didn't even make sense. Everyone's face, it just doesn't make sense. So it's that person's promoting something too when it comes to consciousness. And It's like, but it's manipulation. It's ass backwards. So they're getting people to like go back and look at the face, go back and look at the face. Well, maybe it's a frequency within that one part of the video. And it's just a video. But they put their music on it. And what that does is pull people to their channel. Subliminal messaging. I guarantee when I get my music plant thing, there's a plant in here that absolutely, probably all of them vibe to exactly what I need. And you can't find that vibration on YouTube. People don't even know how to get to that level in the sense of like the government shut it down. Like you can get close, but you can't get exact. And that's intentional. And I almost feel like that guy actually went peacefully. Believe it or not. It's like his way of comfort. I can't even explain it. But this is the shit that's going on that doesn't come out on the news. You'll only see it like certain things here. Somebody finds a way to snag the box and that becomes public. We've been talking about planes a lot too. And that box with flight 97, 93, what was it? Flight, I forget what flight it was, with the towers. And they have the voice box and they say they're all destroyed. But it's that there's one that's not destroyed. And I'm assuming that's going to come public soon. And I've been talking about those jets too. And there was a stealth jet right there following the other plane along with another plane. So, yeah. And again, it's just scary because Caden is going through a phase of like need to speed. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so is it Marsha's boy that's 17. He didn't get caught, but he literally came home one night and he told us. He's like, if you saw it on the tracker, he's like, I was just seeing how fast my car can go. And we were both like, what the fuck? It went like 100 and something. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, but there's nobody on the highway. A deer could have came out. Like, what the fuck? And Marsha told me that all happened April, I think. Because we talked about it when we went camping Memorial Day. So it's just, again, it's probably this whole fucking eclipse season and another one coming in. So it's that scares me. But it scares me like I want to fix it, but I don't know how to, like, that person literally did a barrel roll that no one's ever done or would even attempt in that type of aircraft. And he did it. And he did it smoothly because of a fucking video game. And Caden thought it was cool that that person that was on the run could have killed all those cops. But he thought it was cool because they had already had that plan, obviously, if they were to get pulled over or they didn't want to get caught with whatever went down. That plan was already there. Who do I know? Maybe they could have friggin' purposely did that and set it up. Regardless, it still fucking happened. And these 17-year-olds are thinking this shit is fucking funny and great. And to me, there's a shift in Caden. Like, there's no question. And it's not like, it doesn't, people be like, oh, it's their age or hormonal. It's not. They're in this fucking bubble right now. They're somewhere in here for a little while. And I hate to say it, they could be in there for a couple of years and make us fucking worry our asses off. Because right now, this is the age that the government's targeting. So he's another target for another 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And all my kids' generations are different. And I have 4 kids, and you think they wouldn't be different, but I do notice, and I had them all within that 10-year time frame. I do notice, like Jade was in 98, and then the millennium came, and then I had 01, 04, and 07. And people will always be like, when she's 80 or 90, they're going to be like, oh my God, they're going to look at it like she's ancient because she's from the 1900s. You know, and then Alana, her generation's a little different, but Mia's is definitely different, and now Caden's is. You think they wouldn't be so different from each other, but if you look back in the last 10 years, especially if you have children, it's like they're not in the same, they're in the same house, but they're not in the same year. And I know it's like, well, that makes sense. They're born in a different year, but no, they split within this 8 to 21 time frame here. They split the years. And that guy flew a plane like he was a fucking expert. I'm getting like stimulation. So they're definitely being targeted right now, and that makes me sad. It's a lot of arguing with kids, and I'm like, oh, I really lucked out. You know, I really did with the girls, and Caden, I thought I really lucked out too. But I'm telling you, the next few years are going to be something. Like, he thinks he could just quit school and get a job, and he does want to work. And I'm like, what are you going to do when school's over, this and that? He's, you know, hopefully he doesn't quit, but I'm just saying he could care less. And you might even be able to graduate in January. And they're like, well, a lot of people have the diploma, and we'll give you a diploma unless you want to walk down with your class. And he's like, I don't want to walk down with my class. He can't be bothered. And he's super fucking smart. So I'm sure he'll get into some type of trade, but I'm sure he'll be fine. But right now, it's like, fucking damn. And it's not just my 17-year-old. If you notice and you look up 17-year-olds that have died in the last 4 months, I guarantee you those statistics are higher than they ever were in that time frame. In the last 4 months. Last 4 months. Even really, I think there's been a huge tally in the last month, to be honest with you, with deaths and car accidents. I mean, I just saw a nasty one. And it was a 17-year-old too. A couple towns over. It was actually with Caden. But they were racing down the street, and the guy, they didn't see the other car. They're just teenagers fucking around on a main road. Afternoon, lunchtime, traffic. But they had a good little stretch. And then the guy moved his car, and his friend moved that other lane, and then hit that person and sent them over the guardrail. That person, the whole entire family, the driver survived, but the whole entire family is now mourning this idiotic fucking kid. So to me, it's like, you want to kill yourself with speed or whatever it is, don't do it where it's on a public road. You want to make that stupid choice. You don't want to go to fucking racetrack and do it right. Don't take out somebody else. I feel like it's just a time period where a lot of families are going to be suffering with shit like that. Mental health or just like accidents. They're just being targeted right now. We're looking at another 6 to 7 months of the 17 group. So that's what I'm saying. The government is targeting years, not generations. They're targeting each year, which is actually pulling me to the alphabet, something I said about Elon Musk. That's strange. I don't know how to interpret that, because usually it's like this generation, that generation. But this is something about years. and how they're doing it. Like, say they made that game, 10 years ago. It's just targeting this. And I remember, guys, I said to you, me and Danny got a thing in the mail when Caden was like 8 or something. I was so fucking young. And it was for him to go to some big convention and play games for money. But he's not old enough, but you have to put it in like he is old enough. He was under Danny's account. I think he was playing Black Ops, and I wasn't too happy about it, but Danny at the time was telling him like killing was wrong, this and that, and Caden knows that. He's not an idiot. So in a way, we did educate him the right way. But we literally had a huge where people get together and do it every year against big money. And my son was 8 years old. But they thought it was Danny because he was playing under his account. That's how fucking good he is at fucking video games. And I told him, if you are that good, go be that person and make millions and bank. Be smart about it. Go work in technology. Go work in gaming. Something that excites you. Make the right choices here. Instead of speeding on the road. Shit like that. You're good at it? Fucking do it. How many fucking teenagers? I think you gotta be 18. But millions and millions and millions. And it's like the last one, and then they fight against the computer, and if they win the computer, it's like $5 million. It's fucking insane. They're sucking all these kids in. And I think that's why he has that thrive, that something with Japan. They're creating these apps. And it's like his brain's telling him to go to fucking Japan. And ever since he was old enough, and I just fucking said this to you guys, like he's always wanted to go to Japan. I wouldn't doubt if he actually moved to Japan, to be quite honest with you. And I feel like it's a government thing. Like, we teamed up with Japan, and it's nothing about it is public. It's all hidden. Besides the obvious that we already know of. Shit's being hidden. And this is probably them targeting the United States, but the United States is allowing it. They're hitting each year. Each age group at different times of the year. Pretty scary. All right, my alarm's going to go off any minute. My doctor's appointment. I got to leave the house in 20 minutes. So this was a global read. Global warning is what I just heard. As if it's weather, but it's not. I don't think it's weather. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
What are the definitions of a global warning?
Global warming refers to the increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, which is significant enough to cause...
I want global. Global warning. Oh, it actually says 2024 right there. But I actually want the meaning. Global warming is a long-term heating of the Earth. No, it's going back to warming. I want warning. Why isn't it coming up? Is it not a thing? Why won't it take global warming? I can't get it to take global warming. What is a global warming? No. Wow, that's weird. How else would I word that? It won't let me take it. It's not showing me nothing. Global warming. No, it goes, okay, global warming right here. What is global warming? No, it's still going back to the core. Water, gases. What is the warning for global warning? No, it's global warning, and I don't know what that means. It's not letting me find anything on the internet. Not surprised. There's a meaning for everything out there, but not that. A little suspicious, if you ask me. And I came across one of those videos yesterday when this woman, I didn't send it to myself. Damn. She was saying the same shit. It was like part 1 when she was talking to Alexa and how getting like Alexa caught up in what she's saying. And I feel like I just went through that same thing, that I can't find global warning. So I love you guys. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Oh, Peanut Butter just came over to say hi. It's on my shoulder. Bye, guys. Yeah, I know. AI doesn't understand global warning. That's crazy. Bye, guys.